Monster Jam fans, welcome to Brussels, Belgium. Here in 2015, we are here getting ready for a spectacular show as we are getting prepared for this awesome event tonight. We have some amazing drivers that are ready to tackle this awesome looking course. We are going international for the first time in a while here on the channel. I'm looking forward to it, and I hope you guys are as well, because this is going to be an awesome night of action. So before we get into anything, let's meet the drivers for today's competition. You see him coming onto the track for intros. You've got Max D, driven by Morgan Kane. Gravedigger, driven by Colton Eichelberger. Let's do a little switcheroo next year. Blue Thunder, driven by Dalton Milliken. Rest in peace. Monster Energy, driven by Cody Saucier. Scooby-Doo, driven by Bailey Shea. NEA, driven by Aaron Basil. Monster Mutt Rottweiler, driven by Darren Basil. El Toro Loco, driven by Brianna Mahan. Wow. El Diablo, driven by JP Ruggiero. And Mohawk Warrior, driven by George Belhan. This is one interesting lineup here today. I'm going to have to keep looking at this card because I have no idea. I'm not going to be able to memorize all these people, that's for sure. But some interesting drivers out here with Brianna Mahan, especially Dalton Milliken before he passed away. This is the first time I've ever seen Dalton Milliken compete in the show. So this should be interesting. I'm excited for this. Let's get ready for Monster Jam in Brussels. So the first competition of today is the Two Wheels competition. That's what it was called back then. And the first driver out here, this is NEA, driven by Aaron Basil, going for a little slap wheelie up on top of that pod. Sorry if I sound a little unprofessional right now, because again, a lot of these drivers, this is from 4 years ago, and a lot of the drivers never really drove these trucks full time. So, got to get used to it. But Aaron Basil, solid little wheelie there on the backside of the racing lane. They do get 2 hits. Or maybe they'll get 3, I'm not sure. I think back in the day they got 3. They might even throw in 4, I don't know. We'll find out, though, in this run, unless he flips over. Going for a sky wheelie, and he walks that wheelie down the pad. A nice 3rd hit there. And I'm going to guess he's going for a 4th. Yep, I think he's going for a 4th. So we're getting 4 hits out here. Cool. Good to know. Going for a slap wheelie, walking in a little bit. So NEA with a solid 2-wheel skills run. I mean, back in the day, those were really solid. I mean, they scored them out of 40. The score is a 25. But that was a really good run, especially to kick off this competition. Looking pretty good. Next up, we have Dalton Milliken in Blue Thunder. Again, rest his soul. First time I'm ever watching him drive, and maybe will be the, well, I don't know if it'll be the last, but obviously it's not like I'm seeing any new content from him, so I'm not sure, but we will find out. So let's see how I heard that he was a really great driver before he passed away, so I'm intrigued to see how he can drive. I've seen some footage of him doing like really crazy things. I'm really looking forward to his freestyles. I heard that's where he really did well. Lining up for the man standing in the middle of the aisle, and he just jumps right over him. And that is his 3rd hit. So far, I think NEA was a little bit better. He's got to get 1 great hit here if he wants to take that lead away. But NEA did really solid. I miss Blue Thunder, one of the coolest trucks. Obviously, it still ran today. Oh my, a nice move there. That was innovative. That was, you know what, this kid's an innovator. It's too bad we lost him too early. But Blue Thunder, yeah, no, that's not going to take the lead. It is a 21, so your leader is still NEA. That's Aaron Basil. But next up is the Monster Mutt Rottweiler. This is Aaron Basil's brother, Darren. You want to talk about confusing? We've got 2 brothers in Brussels, Belgium, with people who don't even know who's driving the trucks. And you have 2 people with virtually the exact same name that look exactly the same. That is not confusing at all. Darren Basil's in Monster Mutt Rottweiler, and he's walking a slab wheelie. So solid 1st hit there. Darren's been around in this sport for a long time. I'm not sure who drove El Matador and who drove Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm just going to be honest with you. Don't call me an idiot. It's just I was 10 years old and I just didn't remember that. But so far, he's off to a really good start here. Darren with D. I wouldn't know. If they were standing in front of me, I wouldn't know how to tell them apart unless they told me their names. And wow, being innovative again. That wasn't a great hit there, though. That was the only problem. That wasn't really the best of hits. So let's see what this final and fourth hit will bring in. Going for the backside of the racing lane like his brother did. That was a solid run. I think those first two hits may pull him ahead, and they will. He's going to finish this run with a 30. That'll put him in the hot seat. So Monster Mutt Rottweiler, 4 really solid hits here in the skills competition, I must say. And next up, we have George Belhan in Mohawk Warrior. Not great clips either. That's just, it's so interesting. You know, I love going back in time and doing these throwback shows because everything's so different today. And we like to say that this sport hasn't really changed a lot, but it really has. Going for a little slap wheelie, didn't work out so well for him. So let's see what hit number 2 will be. Go for the backside of the racing lane. Not a really impressive hit there. This is at the tail end of George Belhan's career. The next year that he would compete would be his last. Well, let's see. I mean, George has been in the sport for a while. He's done a lot of things. And I don't know what he's doing there. That really wasn't a great hit either. So George Belhan is out here. That Mohawk's flapping in the breeze. You know what's something I wish Monster Jam would do is get old shows and do commentary, or do like shows of them on TV. I think that'll be really awesome. Little sky wheelie there for Mohawk Warrior. So he's looking good early on, but his skills competition wasn't very great. It's a 19 that won't put him in the lead. The next driver here in this two-wheel skills competition, this is Bailey Shea in Scooby-Doo. She is now the current driver of Quad Chaos, or will be next year when 2020 rolls along. But cool to see her. I never knew that she drove in stadiums, actually. I didn't think she ever got out of arenas, so this is also interesting. The things you learn from, I mean, I've learned so much from doing these commentaries, you have no idea. From people I've talked to that are telling me that I don't know the facts, and I'm like, well, inform me, because I'd like to know these things. Like something like this, where Scooby-Doo is going over, and that truck is toast. It's going to get a 21. So she's not going to take the lead, but that was a really cool move, I have to say. But up next, it is Monster Energy. This is Cody Saucier. Going for hit number 1. And Cody knows what he's doing out here on the track. This was kind of in the beginning of his career before he hit his primary days. I believe, yeah, this was the year after he won the Young Gun Shootout. Yeah, he won that. Again, I didn't watch in 2014 or 15, so sometimes those years are a little blurry for me. But he won that in 2014. Michael Viders Jr. won it in 2015. That's right. Sorry, I had to just clear that up in my mind. The Monster Energy out here, the 2014 Young Gun Shootout champion, hitting the jammer, going for hit number 3, and it's a beautiful slap wheelie. So 3 hits. They've been really good so far, but he's got one more to try and impress these fans, take that lead. Monster Mutt Rottweiler with Darren Basil still sitting in the hot seat right now. Monster Energy going for his last hit. It's going to be the backside of the racing lane, but a lot of people have leveled that out, so he won't get the hit he wanted. He does combo it into a slap wheelie, but sadly he's not going to take the lead. It's only a 28 for Monster Energy. Hopefully Cody can come back out in the racing and freestyle competitions and do some damage. There will be racing following the skills competition, which is interesting. I find that funny how they do that second. Next up here, this is El Toro Loco, Brianna Mahan in the yellow El Toro Loco. That's something I didn't know either. Like I said, just so interesting the things you find out from doing this stuff. Going for that jammer, a nice sky wheelie. That was a really cool hit there. Going for the backside of the racing lane, and another nice sky wheelie. She got some length on that. Third hit here on the backside of the other racing lane, and she's sitting it on the top. This is a really impressive run for Brianna Mahan. She's got one more hit so far. I think she's poised to take a lead if she can get a really good hit here, and she is. Another solid move. I'm very impressed. That's 4 really great hits, and she's going to take the lead. It's a 32, so she'll take the lead by 2 points. There aren't many trucks left either, so she's got to feel pretty comfortable on the track. But next up, this is Gravedigger and Colton Eichelberger. You want to talk about confusing? You've got Colton Eichelberger and Gravedigger and Morgan Kane in Max D. When today they are in the opposite roles. They just swapped. They like, I'm not kidding. They were actually traded in trucks. And a nice Sky Wheelie there. These guys, that's what happened at the end of the year. They traded. They put Colton in Max D. They said, here, you take Colton, we'll take Morgan. That's all they did. It was really funny. Hit number 2, another Sky Wheelie attempt. This is before Colton really reached his prime. He was in the World Finals this year, though. He had a good showing. And he's got his 3rd hit in sights with the jammer. And not really a great hit out of that. I'm not sure if the reason why they took Colton out of Gravedigger was maybe because he doesn't drive like a Gravedigger driver. He really doesn't. He doesn't drive like a Digger driver. He drives like a Max D driver, and I think that's why he drives Max D. Again, this is also way before he really reached his excellence. But I think it's more because he wasn't of a Gravedigger caliber driver, but that they thought he might have been. But those are 4 hits in the books. He's going to just throw it into a donut for fun. So Gravedigger's going to get a 27. I think that's a little overscored, to be honest, but it doesn't matter. He's still not going to take the lead, and there are 2 trucks left to compete in this competition. Unless we don't see El Diablo, but we should. But next up it is Max D. This is Morgan Kane. That first hit is a solid one, but not any real excitement afterwards. I think this is a front engine, actually. I think he's driving a front engine right now. I'm going to try and figure that out. They wouldn't fly Morgan's chassis overseas, but another nice move. It seems to be acting like a front engine. I can't tell. Yeah, we're just going to say Max D. Oh my, a really great hit there. So hit number 3 was a solid one. Got 1 hit left. He's lining up for that jammer. Can he get the wheelie out of it? No, he can't. So Morgan Kane, 4 solid hits, but I don't think that'll take the lead, and it will not. That's a 29. So Morgan Kane and Gravedigger is going to go off the track, not having the lead, and El Toro Loco still in the hot seat. And there's 1 truck left. It's JP Ruggiero and El Diablo. So it's either JP Ruggiero or Brandon Mahan. Oh my, a really nice air. But the question is that really wheeliage or not? That was hit number 1. We'll see if he can possibly take the lead away from Brandon Mahan. And another really nice second hit. That was, yeah, that right there is the best hit of the competition. But he's on his lid after 2 hits, so he won't take the win probably. And he won't. That's not going to be good enough. It's going to be a 28, and that'll bring us over to the racing competition. The next competition here today will be started off with 2 of the top Monster Jam Racers racing trucks in all of the sport. It is Max D and Scooby-Doo. Max D being driven by Morgan Kane, Scooby-Doo being driven by Bailey Shea. And Bailey Shea, big problems before the turn, and Morgan Kane is going to ease his way into the winner's circle with this race. Bailey Shea just crossing the line, and after the skills competition, there was a lot of smoke coming out of that truck. Seems like that is still the case. Next up here, we have Colton Eichelberger and Gravedigger taking on Darren Basil in the Monster Mutt Rottweiler. You've got a rookie superstar, up-and-coming superstar, and a veteran for a very long time going head-to-head here in Brussels. Colton Eichelberger in the Gravedigger monster truck is behind as Darren Basil's pulling ahead, but he pulls a slap wheelie. That's going to slow him down a lot. And Colton Eichelberger is going to capitalize and take home an easy win. As Darren Basil with a big, crucial mistake that'll end his night in racing. Next up here, we have Brianna Mahan in El Toro Loco and Dalton Milliken in Blue Thunder. Your skills winner, and she is going to try and go for a double down here tonight if she can take home this racing win. And if she can't do that, then she will have the opportunity to win the freestyle competition. Waiting for the green, they are staged. The question is, when will we get that green light to send these monsters off? They are ready, and they are off. Again, I haven't watched much of Dalton Milliken, so I don't know what his capabilities are in racing. But he seems to be really fast early on. Oh my, he hits the turning car. That's going to hurt him big time. Really big time. Oh my, but El Toro Loco with a mistake too. And that's going to cost her her race. So Brianna Mahan spins out in the turn, and Blue Thunder has won this race. Dalton Milliken moving on to round number 2. Wasn't a clean race by any means, but he is heading on. Next up here we have Cody Saucier in Monster Energy taking on George Belhan in Mohawk Warrior. This is the last race of round number 1. After this we'll have the semifinals, and Mohawk Warrior has a big lead right now over Cody. And they're close to the line, but your winner is the Mohawk Warrior, driven by George Belhan. Let's take one final look at this video board, though, just to be sure. Oh, wow, that was a very close finish, but it was indeed George Belhan. So George Belhan pulling out a big win there. He will move on to the next round. However, both Mohawk Warrior and Blue Thunder sadly are going to be unable to compete in the next round, so they will be replaced. We kick off the semifinals with Max D, that is Morgan Kane, taking on Gravedigger and Colton Eichelberger. NEA and El Diablo were left out of this competition because they didn't qualify. We're just left with an 8-truck bracket, which means a quick 3-round racing competition. And Morgan Kane obviously going for a big win here against Colton Eichelberger. Anytime you see Max D and Gravedigger going head-to-head, it's going to be a fun race. But Colton Eichelberger going a little crazy here. He crossed the line first. The question is, will that truck be ready for the final round? That is the big question. Not sure if it'll be able to advance. We'll find out next round. Next up, Cody Saucier and Brianna Mahan both return here after the people they lost to were sadly unable to come back. So Cody Saucier is going to have an opportunity to make it to the final round, and Brianna Mahan will get another shot at a double down. Cody Saucier looking smooth early on. He's got a bit of a lead. This Monster Energy truck is fast, as we know. And he's going to cross the finish line with plenty of time to spare. So Monster Energy moving on to the final round. I mean, you knew after that race there was no matter what a driver who had lost that was going to be moving on. And now we have okay, we have an interesting development here. We're back in the final round, and neither Max D or Gravedigger could advance. He couldn't refire. So now we have another matchup of Cody Saucier and Brianna Mahan for the second time in 2 rounds to determine who's winning today. This is a crazy racing competition. And Cody Saucier blows her away for the second straight race. So, that is one incredible way to have racing go down. So Brianna Mahan wins the skills competition. Half the truck's broken racing, which means that Cody Saucier, after losing round 1, beats the same driver in back-to-back races. That's fun. But now it's time for the last competition of the day, my friends. It is the freestyle competition, and kicking us off is Bailey Shea and Scooby-Doo. Bailey Shea getting ready to freestyle out here in Brussels. Solid air over the racing lane. Not really, but that was really a great way to start off for 120 and then stuffs herself into the van. That new stack that they put onto the track just for freestyle. And oh my goodness, a big sky wheelie. Hopefully that truck's okay. That took a beating right there. The fans are enjoying it. I think they think her run's over because, I mean, her truck's off, but hopefully they can get her refired. Scooby-Doo, a good start to her run. The first two hits were kind of subpar, but that third hit was really wowie. So one awesome hit there for Scooby-Doo. The question is, will this truck be able to continue a run and put through a really good freestyle for the rest of this freestyle competition? There will be all 10 trucks competing in freestyle. Obviously, all 10 competed in the skills competition. You'll be seeing, you didn't see all 10 in racing, only 8 did that, but obviously I explained that before. But for those of you that are just here to watch freestyle, if you're tuning in just now here in the premiere, I'd like to welcome you all. And this is Brussels from 2015, and I think Bailey Shea is going to have to be shut off. Again, they're cheering because they're assuming the run's over, and so am I, to be honest. It's a good run, but I think that truck just has taken a little bit too much of a beating, and yes, it has. So Scooby-Doo is done. She's going to get a 24. So Scooby-Doo with a 24 will sit in the hot seat for the time being. And next up is Brandon Mahan in El Toro Loco. She looks to double down today, getting huge air off of that jammer. That's a way to announce your presence. Get these Brussels fans saying, wow, that was awesome. I really wanted to pull out I really wanted to say wow in Brussels or whatever, however they speak in their language, and just be like, whatever they say. I don't want to make up some random word and sound stupid. But El Toro Loco's out here again. Brianna Mahan, this is in the beginning of her career. I'm not sure if 2014 was her first year. 2015 was her first year. I believe she started in 2014. But she's getting some nice air. I'm enjoying her run right now. I mean, if she wants to double down, you got to do something great. You got to hit the backflip ramp. You got to have a really good run with some nice air. Got some solid air over the racing lane, maybe even a save, wow moment, whatever you want to do. It's hard to double down in Monster Jam. You have to be basically perfect in 2 competitions. That's not easy to do when you have, in most competitions, at least 7 other drivers that are trying to take you down, and here you have 9 others. It's a little easier here than in regular shows in which they'd have 14 trucks. You'd have 13 other people. But she's putting up a good fight right now. She just slammed into that van stack, going for the triple threat pod. I like the color of these tracks. They always used to color the international tracks very differently from the United States tracks. Even though this was 2015, so I believe they actually were colored that year, to be honest. But I think the pink they use, that pink dirt that they use, is a little different from what they did in the United States. And again, like I said, yes, there are people who actually think that this is pink dirt and not pink paint. Getting nice air over that jump. She's having a good run, but I think that momentum is just not there. She doesn't have that wow moment that she needs if she really wants to take home this double down trophy. It's not easy to do, like I mentioned, and especially out here in 2015 in this El Toro Loco truck. She's got a stacked field that's coming out behind her. She's coming out second in freestyle. Never easy to do. Sometimes coming out early can be to your advantage. But that was a solid run. But her night is going to come to a close with that freestyle. Her score is a 31, which will put her in the hot seat for the time being. Maybe she will get a chance at that double down. But next up is Darren Basil in the Monster Mutt Rottweiler. He's had a pretty solid day so far. Racing didn't go the way he planned, but I mean, the 2-wheel skills competition was really good. It was enjoyable. I enjoyed it myself. So maybe he can come out here in freestyle, putting down a really good run overall. And another wheelie. He's been doing a lot of wheelies today. He's an old school driver, so obviously wheelies is kind of in his wheelie house. Haha, see what I did there? I'm so funny. Yeah, I mean, this is a guy who's been around for a long time. For those of you who don't know, Darren Basil's been in so many different trucks, driven for so many different teams. He was a part of the King Crunch team for all those years, and then King Crunch went away, and as did his independent career. Wanted to hit that jammer, but the truck didn't line up straight, so he's going to have to settle for that jump. Got him a nice sky wheelie. Darren Basil was always a good driver, never got a shot at the World Finals, which I really thought he should have. He was a good driver when he was back in the day, but the only problem was when they had 24 trucks, it was basically the same 20 every time, and every year they'd kind of change out 4 of them. Oh my goodness, the biggest air of the night! Cases it in on the end of that jump. So that was an impressive move. I think Monster Mutt Rottweiler, he wants to get that win here. When you're a guy like Aaron Basil and you're getting the chance to drive out in Brussels, I mean, you might as well just go all out. Throw the dog to the floor. I think that'll be the end of the run. Must have broken something. We'll have to see, though. He might refire. You never know. Yeah, he's not going to be able to refire, sadly. So Monster Mutt Rottweiler's going to get a 27. So El Toro Loco still sits in the hot seat. Next up is Darren Basil's brother, Aaron, in NEA. The new Earth Authority Police Force ready to freestyle here in Brussels. A nice slap wheelie right there. And starting off this freestyle, he's going to try and do what his brother left off. Kick off where his brother finished. I mean, his brother had a really good move right at the end of his run. And sometimes, he must have knocked something loose in the truck, which is why he was sadly unable to continue. Oh, he's throwing it into a donut, our first donut of the freestyle competition. Gotta love that out of the Doomsday Brotherly truck, if you want to call it that. It is basically Doomsday's more extrovert brother, if you want to call it. Yeah, that makes sense. And also, I'm looking at this track. This track seems... Oh my goodness! Aaron Basil almost just did a nose pick backflip. Excuse me? If he gave it a little more throttle... What? Okay. So that was cool. Sadly, it's only a 26 because he didn't fill the clock and he flipped. Next up's El Diablo. He's got to beat a 31 that was put up by El Toro Loco. So far, nobody's beaten that. But El Diablo, this is JP Ruggiero. Guy didn't last very long in Monster Jam, but he was still a good driver when he had the chance. He drove in, I believe, I want to say 1 Young Gun Shootout. He might have been in 2, but I'm thinking 1. Actually, no, I think it was 2. In this El Diablo truck. This truck was made, I believe, for him. When he came into the sport, it was a very simple body that first year when it ran, and then they came up with this really intricate design. One of the coolest designs, in my opinion, to ever live in Monster Jam, with a face that is on the back side of the truck, that when a driver goes vertical and does a sky wheelie, the fans are staring at the devil's face. It's just such an awesome, innovative design. Whoever came up with that really deserved a promotion, and hopefully they're still in Monster Jam today, because they are awesome people. But this El Diablo truck, JP Ruggiero was a perfect driver for it. He really rocked this truck. It was too bad that he didn't last for so long because, I mean, I enjoyed seeing him behind the wheel, but Lupe Souza took it over and did a really nice job behind the wheel as well. We saw a few drivers drive this truck overall. What a really fun truck. I'd love to see this truck in Steel Titans. That would be awesome. I would drive it all the time. Let me tell you what. It's a cool truck. We still haven't seen anybody hit the backflip ramp, so if he does that, you never know. We may see somebody do just that. But if he can do that, he might take the lead. He's having a good run. To me, a little bit of a step up from Brianna Mahan, who did throw down a good run, but I think that her momentum didn't really have a wow moment. JP hasn't had a wow moment either, but I think overall the run has been a little more consistent in terms of getting nice air, so he may take the lead. But he's got to fill the clock. I mean, he's got some time left. You don't want to let that time rot away. Some more nice air. So the air is definitely there. Something we didn't really see in Brianna Mahan's run. So I would be surprised if this didn't take the lead and fill the clock. Hitting that jammer. We haven't seen anybody really pull off a nice slap wheelie today. I would like to see that by the end of the day. So that's going to be the end of the run. He's going to pull it back to the pits. It's going to be a 32, which will be your new leader. But next up, a guy who's trying to change that, it is George Belhan in Mohawk Warrior. could be the first guy to try a backflip tonight. We've seen him do that a few times over his career. George, also known as called by Mark Schrader, the punk with all the junk. He's out here in one of his last freestyles. He was in the sport for a very long time, before 2006. So his tenure in the sport lasted more than a decade, so that's impressive. I mean, anytime you could stay in any sport for over 10 years, it's always awesome. Oh, I think we have a winner, folks. He's going for the backflip ramp. The arrow's pointing to where they want him to go, and he lands it perfectly. I'm not sure if he might have broken something, might have bent a 4-link bar. But nonetheless, he still landed the backflip, so you know he's going to take the lead. Yeah, that's the end of the run. He will take the lead with a 33. Next up is Blue Thunder. This is Dalton Milliken. So like I said, I heard that this kid can freestyle. I'm excited. This is the first time I'm ever watching him drive in a show. So first full freestyle I'm ever seeing. I've seen bits and pieces, but I've never seen full freestyle runs. I mean, that was back in the day. I mean, this was his first year driving. You wouldn't see that. I actually might have been his second. But you don't see that anymore, where you see a guy who's in his first or second year driving, they throw him overseas. Because mainly, if you do that, it means you're getting fired, but it's still, or you're getting demoted, but still, Blue Thunder getting the chance to drive out here. Everyone loves the Blue Thunder truck overseas. It's a truck that is so commonplace in international shows, and Dalton Milliken is a really good representative for this truck. They left Mohawk Warrior in front of the backflip ramp, so you're only able to hit the other side, which is good because Mohawk Warrior really did a good deal of damage to the backflip ramp. Big air from Blue Thunder. Almost lost his run right there, but he was able to get that truck back. Not many trucks left. There are only 3 after Blue Thunder. So if he wants to get this win here, he's got the opportunity, but he needs to have that backflip, and he really needs to put together a good run. Oh my goodness, the hang time out of Dalton Milliken. Absolutely impressive air right there. That was the biggest air of the night, no question. So if he can keep this up and have some... Oh my goodness, he lost a wheel! He loses a wheel. So now what's he going to do? Is he going to pull off and call it quits, or is he going to keep going? I think he's going to keep going. Back in the day when, man, just a few short years ago, we let drivers keep going when they broke wheels off. It's strange that it's been that recent. Yeah, that's going to be the end of the run. But still, a really good run. Dalton Milliken tore it up. The fans are loving it. They are so loud. And that will take the lead with a 35. So, Dalton Milliken's your new leader with 3 trucks left. And the first one out of the 3 is Morgan Kane in Max D. They pulled Blue Thunder over to the parking lot. Thankfully, the parking spot. And Morgan Kane starting with some nice air. That truck didn't get the beautiful angle off of that ramp that it was hoping to, but still, thankfully, he is running. Still haven't determined if this truck's a rear engine or a front engine. It looks like it's a front engine, but I can't tell. So I'm not going to talk out of my butt here and say that I know what it is. If anyone knows for a fact what it is, because they remember, please let me know. I'm leaving that up to Levi or somebody else who knows. As if Phil would ever watch my videos. If he was watching, he'd be able to tell me, but yeah, that's funny. Again, I can't tell. Whatever, we're going to stop focusing on the truck and focus on Morgan Kane, who's throwing down right now. He's having a good freestyle. Doesn't want to go for that backflip just yet. Having a solid run. This is back in Morgan Kane's earlier days in, well, not earlier days, but it was his earlier days in popular trucks. He has been driving since about 2010. He drove the Mopar Magic truck which then converted to Monster Magic, and then he ended up finally getting into Max D after a couple of years, which is really where he belongs. In my opinion, I think he rocks Max D better than he does Gravedigger, but they made that swap for Colton, and Colton fits perfectly in Max D as well. So the only way to put Morgan back in Max D is if you got rid of him. Oh, well, they really don't have to. There's not enough Max D drivers, and there's, to be honest, too many Digger drivers, but they would need to get another Digger driver if they wanted to have Max D. Lining up for that backflip ramp. Hopefully we'll be able to see it. Oh my, he turtles, and he somehow saves it. Wow. A crazy move out of Morgan Kane and Max D, and now he's just going to go on and try and finish this run, fill the clock. Now he'll have a beautiful shot if that's a front engine. Still can't tell. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not going to bother trying to figure it out. He's sort of into a donut. He's having a really good run. That's the end of the run. A great run for Morgan Kane out here in Brussels. It's going to be a 37, which was going to put him in the hot seat. But next up is Cody Saucier, Monster Energy. He's saying, hey, Morgan, I'm going to take that hot seat right away from you. He won racing, so again, the only driver right now who can double down now that Brianna Mahan is out of the hot seat. So Monster Energy could be a two-time winner today if he can come through with something awesome here in freestyle. A nice sky wheelie. Cody Saucier, one of the most technical and not necessarily conserved drivers in all of Monster Jam, but he's very much like Damon Bradshaw. He doesn't like to put the truck on the line, but he will always do something cool in his freestyle. He's going to have to back it up. That's a point deduction. So that will hurt his scores. If he loses by 2 points or however many, then you know that was lost from that point deduction there. Goes over that van stack, running over those crushed cars. You guys want crushed cars, go back and watch videos from before 2017. You'll see as many as you want. That's what I say. People who I want to see crushed cars, go back and watch videos. They exist. And a nice little case there from Monster Energy. He's able to keep that truck going. And another nice hit. He's crossing over a lot of moves, getting some cross threads here, trying to just change things up. I say it in every commentary. If you want to take the lead, if you want to get a lot of points, you have to do something different than people have done before. If you want to get a lead, you need to change things up, hit a move differently than everyone else has. So far, Cody is doing just that. He's hitting a lot of moves differently, getting cross threads, getting nice air. The only thing he hasn't done is hit a backflip. But again, with the way that the backflips are made back in 2015, you hit it once and it's demolished. It's kind of stupid to hit it again, or you're going to find yourself probably on your lid staring at the underbody of the truck in the sky. His time is winding down. The light is red, so his time is up, actually. That was a really good run, though, for Cody. Didn't hit the backflip. And it scores a 35, so he actually was really affected by that point deduction. But last out here in freestyle, my friends, it's Gravedigger and it's Colton Eichelberger. I'm excited. Back watching Colton. The only freestyle I think I've seen from him from this year was from the World Finals. So might as well sit back and enjoy this run and enjoy the sound of this truck. Truck actually has BKTs on it. Actually, they might all have BKTs, but again, they didn't paint the BKTs back then. Oh boy, Colton's lining up. Colton has always been a freestyler, I'll say that. He might not have done well in the skills competition back in the day, but freestyle, that was his tea. That was his cup of tea right there. He knew what he was doing, still knows what he's doing in freestyle. Heck, he even deserved to win the All-Star Challenge freestyle in my opinion, so he's a great freestyler. Thankfully, they got this truck back and ready to come out here and freestyle. You see he's getting nice air. These Brussels fans, anytime you're going to an international show where you don't know if the fans are going to, the fans aren't going to be as loyal and, dedicated as they are in the United States, you want to see Gravedigger coming out. If Gravedigger doesn't come out in freestyle, it's bad. It's bad for the sport, and it's going to affect ratings of the show. So Colton Eichelberger coming out here freestyling, obviously a really good thing. They had to thrash on that truck to make sure that it's back and ready. He didn't get to compete in the final round of racing. So this is his chance of redemption. Win freestyle when he had the opportunity to win racing, and he probably would have won racing for that matter, but he's getting really big air. No one's reached the elevation that Dalton Milliken got. And Dalton really had a great job out there. He had some huge air, but he's not in the hot seat. Morgan Cane's sitting in the hot seat, so all he has to do is do what Morgan did, and better. I don't think he has any rear steer right now, so that backup is I'm tempted to give that a point deduction. He's going to make it up with some nice air over that jump. The body is completely just falling apart. He doesn't have much time left. He has to back up again. That's another point deduction. But he's getting the nice air to make up for it. I mean, he's really having a solid run. It's just that the truck's not really holding together the way he wanted it to. But he's doing the best he can. Yeah, and the engine just gave out. That might be the end of the run. If it is, we might have a close finish here for the lead. That was a very close finish. It was a good run. Oh, they're doing a little bit of, I don't know if you want to call it an encore? What are they doing? I think they're just doing a little parade around the track, saying thank you to everybody who showed up. Yeah, that's what this is. It's just a little parade when 3 of the trucks are broken. So Colton Eichelberger is your freestyle winner. He tied Morgan Cane with a 37. He won the tiebreaker. So a good little show out here in Brussels. I mean, why not? It was a fun time. I enjoyed myself. So a fun show this weekend. I want to thank everybody for coming out and watching. Just a little bit of a change in the schedule, just so that you guys know. Every weekend that I'm doing a Steel Titan Sports League commentary until Q1, I'm going to be having those weekends. I'm going to do that commentary Saturday and my own on Sundays. So the dates on here, they might look a little wonky because some are every 6 days and every 8 days. That is legit. That is on purpose because I'm not going to be doing commentaries every Saturday just because of that. But thank you everybody for watching. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys all next time.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face, tell me that you love me, even if it's fake.